Hey guys. Bruce banged the button like a judge bangs a gavel. Yeah. Listen, this has a little bit of a different tone than yesterday's post. I don't know how long it was up before she deleted it. I wouldn't even know these things are happening if people didn't send them to me. But as long as she's putting out like false information, then yeah, I think that it's okay to kind of rebut that. Grandkids taxi. Hey, what's up? Yeah. Yes, she did. Well, apparently she did. I don't know. Whoever sent it to me told me that she did delete it. So no, it's not the Medium article, Melinda. It's something she posted today to her public podcast page, and I guess somebody took some screenshots, and then I guess they archived it, and so now I have the link to that. I'm gonna ask because this is a problem sometimes. How does the audio sound? Is my microphone okay? um, Cam, no, it's something else. It's something else. It's definitely got a different kind of tone to it. Cool. Thank you guys. Let me give like one more minute for people to come in here, just so they're not behind if they come in late. David E. Jones, Brad's been archiving things to Discord members, telling him, yeah, Brad's on top of that stuff. One second, let me make sure I'm zoomed in on this page enough to. Yeah. My question is why her mother never took her to a doctor. As a parent, I would have gone with her at least one time. Well, what for? It depends. Because if you're talking about like for pregnancy, then my opinion is because she was not pregnant. That is my belief. So, all right, I think we're good to go. So, somebody sent me this today, and I guess it was just like not too long ago. I don't know if it was actually 1 hour ago or if that's like a screenshot or something. Um, but it's just it's just interesting. It's a little similar to what she put in her article yesterday. I just feel like this one maybe wasn't run by anyone first, and so it's a little rough. Look, I am gonna say this before I start reading. Um, just because it's something that comes up so often. I would not be reading this if I believed this person was truly like in a way that's debilitatingly like mentally ill. It's my belief, just based on my experience, that this person is totally aware of what they're doing, aware of the consequences, and is doubling down because they think they can get away with it. If I thought this was a really sick person, like a really sick in a way that you can't control yourself, then I wouldn't do this. So, yeah, do I think that she has issues? My opinion is yes, but those issues are not an excuse or a reason for this behavior. So I don't feel bad about that. If that changes, like if for some reason at some point in time I start to think, okay, this person really might be like kind of like seriously ill, then yeah, I'll stop talking about it because that would no longer feel right to me. But where we are at right now, this is somebody who's just doing a lot of vile, horrible things because they can, because they think they can get away with it. That is my opinion. Hi, Ido. What's up? All right. So this was a statement on her public podcast page. It says statement from Laura at the top, so I know that it's a statement from Laura. Okay. This is not a tag note. All right. Just file like some of my family members BPD. Yeah, I mean, I won't comment on any sort of specific diagnosis, but just to say that she's like not seriously ill, I just mean she's not debilitatingly ill. Like it's not interrupting her ability to function in society and take care of herself. Obviously because we've seen, like her going horse jumping and stuff, and she's doing this and that when she says that she's too depressed to do anything, and it's like you're like going off on all cylinders all day. So obviously, like you have some ability to do, more than what you're trying to get at. But yeah. So yeah, people with certain disorders, it's not that they're not ill. Um, Just like I have depression. I have depression, I have issues with anxiety. That's mental illness, but, hi, I'm functional, you know what I mean? Like, I know what I'm doing, and if I went and did what she's doing, then that's not because I have depression or anxiety, it's because I'm being a dick. So, somebody is definitely going to sound word "I'm being a dick" and just make it seem like I'm saying I'm being a dick. Cool. Not to steal words from Mata's dad, but this is quite the circus, yeah. Okay. I've been through absolute hell, and I can't stay silent any longer. Last year, I filed a paternity case because I discovered I was pregnant after a one night stand with my realtor, Clayton Echard, who was also the lead on season 26 of The Bachelor. I suffered a miscarriage, which was devastating, and tried to dismiss the case last December, but Judge Mata of the Maricopa County Superior Court refused to let me drop it. The case has dragged on since. Okay, so right off the bat here, making some very clear and pointed claims. Um, I would really be careful with that, but again, I would never do this. So, just right off the bat, first sentence. I've been through absolute hell and I can't stay silent any longer. This woman went to the media. None of us, probably none of us, would have known this existed if she hadn't gone to the media, if she hadn't gone to the public. So when she puts out statements like this, again, I don't feel bad kind of picking them apart because one, they're full of slander and lies, and two, she is the one who brought this to everyone's attention and clearly didn't have a problem with it when she decided she wanted this to be out on a public and national stage. She knew who she was dealing with, and she knew that he didn't want anything to do with her, and he tried to force his hand by going to the media, and now it's out of her control. So I don't really feel bad for that. Hi, Jay. What's up? All right. On Tuesday, just hours after my attorney informed the court that we were filing a notice for change of judge for cause due to suspected judicial misconduct, Judge Mata ruled, as judges do when they're presiding over cases. Her father attended the trial, conversing with the Justice for Clayton cult, okay, who had traveled from all over the country for the hearing and allegedly saying he was here for the shit show. So, glad you're using the word allegedly, at least. You're allegedly full of shit, but okay. We were planning to request a new judge. Hold on, guys. We were planning to request a new judge due to this blatant conflict of interest. She avoided scrutiny by quickly delivering her decision. The rushed ruling was nearly entirely in Clayton's favor, despite a 99.9% certainty from a top OBGYN who testified and multiple positive tests. Judge Mata ruled that I was not pregnant, leaving a mere 0.1% doubt over solid medical evidence, both blood and urine, which she even acknowledged in her findings of fact. Okay, so for the like thousandth time, to be clear, nobody's denying that she tested positive for HCG. She was positive for HCG multiple times, though low levels, if I recall correctly. It depends on if you're looking at the real one or the one that she faked. But you know, no one is saying that you were not positive for HCG. You just weren't pregnant. There's no reason to believe this person was pregnant. Sorry. Like, anyone can test positive for HCG. Not anyone, but you know what I mean. Like, women can test positive for HCG for a number of reasons. As I believe your expert, who was not your doctor, by the way, testified to. So, putting that in here and, like, the thing yesterday with the comment about the 20, 30,000 babies or whatever the Medium article, like, that's not your doctor. You couldn't have any of your doctors testify on your behalf because you were not seen by a doctor to confirm pregnancy. Doctor confirmed you had HCG in your blood, HCG in your urine. That doesn't really mean anything. Not when you have a history of doctoring medical records and perjury. Like, no, you can't just take a P test at that point and then have everyone believe you when there's too much evidence to point to you doing shady stuff. Also, to point out, her expert did not look at her primary care physician records and did not look at her OBGYN records. That's my understanding. My understanding, and to the best of my recollection, was that he only looked at her um, records from a neurologist she saw in telehealth visits. So that is not the same. Hey, Andy. Also, just to point out, when I was in the hearing, I recall her saying that the stuff on her mom doc paperwork, like, she said some of that wasn't true. She doesn't know why it's on there like that. So why should I believe any of your medical records if you're saying under oath that some of them are inaccurate? Do you really have an answer for that? I think not. Why did she submit it to the court? Yeah, exactly. All right. Okay. Hell, Clayton didn't even deny the results. Last June, he had even invited me to his house to take a pregnancy test that he bought himself, and I took it in front of him. The test was positive, which he admits. Yes, he admits you tested positive for HCG. Also, what happened to the fraud accusation? Because if that's fraud, then I would consider the test you took fraudulent. But that's not how any of this works. And she self-reported to the telemed provider, so that's right. So when you have a telehealth provider, a lot of that stuff is like stuff that you verbally confirm to them. They're not like looking into your medical past. Like, those doctors don't have time to do that. Like, they're not going to track down your records and confirm that you were telling the truth about all your medications, because why would you lie about that? Well, there's a clear motive here, but in generally speaking, like, they wouldn't need to. The only reason they would need to, well, not the only reason, but one reason they would need to, in my opinion, is if they were supposed to testify on someone's behalf that they were pregnant based on my medical expertise, I would probably want to look into their medical history. Just saying. One sec, guys. I mean, thank you for shouting, Kamikin. But yes, please, I would appreciate that. Gina Ballerina, wasn't the bathroom door shut when she took the test, so not in front of Clayton? That's disputed. Obviously, they both have different, recollection of that. But I find Clayton's version to be more credible, so I would say yes. If I had to pick a side. Right. Now Clayton claims I gaslit him into believing I was pregnant. Really? This is after he admitted he'd say anything to make me have an abortion, which you can hear for yourself in the deposition clips I shared in my Medium article. Do we want to talk about depositions? What was it you said in your deposition? you changed, you you doctored, what was it? Medical evidence? You doctored medical evidence? Hmm. So if you wanna get into depositions, we're gonna get into both sides. So maybe you wanna calm down on that one. Plus, that's definitely not what he said. Like, that is not exactly what he said, because I watched those clips, and I mean, I guess if you really wanted to twist it, you could try to make it sound like he said that, but that's not exactly what he said. So, he said he had no reason to be honest with her at that point, and I agree with that because if someone's harassing you, if someone's stalking you, if they're sending you, like, tons of numbers from or tons of messages from different phone numbers after you've blocked them, like, it's totally okay to just say whatever you have to say to protect yourself, because at that point, if you have someone who's, like, that intensely harassing and stalking you, then you might be in danger, you don't know. So, I don't fault him for lying, and I wouldn't fault anyone for lying in that situation. If there's a genuine, like, threat or, like, a genuine, like, belief that this person might be dangerous because, like, if you're in his shoes, she's gotta seem kinda crazy, so he doesn't know, like, if she's gonna hurt him or not. So, if you're, like, in those shoes, then, yeah, I don't believe that it's a bad thing to lie to get out of it. You're allowed to act in self-preservation in that situation, like, it's not a crime. I did see this, but we'll get into that after. One sec, guys. If that wasn't an option, like the abortion wasn't an option, if that wasn't an option, he even told me that one of us would take 100% custody. Weird thing for a guy to say if he didn't believe our hookup had led to me becoming pregnant, right? I thought you were raped. She said she was raped, and now we're calling it a one night stand, we're calling it a hookup. Her lawyer's making jokes about, like, people sleeping together after right after the trial. Wasn't he, like, making some sort of, and, like, it's not even that the joke was terrible, it's just that, like, you wouldn't make that joke if, um like, you wouldn't make a joke about putting something to bed if your client was raped. It's just not a thing. Okay. Also, again, he's allowed to act in his best interest for self-preservation if you are acting like a nut job. So, yeah, he wanted to get rid of you, like, he wanted you out of his life. So, saying one of you would have to take 100% custody, meaning that you will not have a life together, that was probably, again, self-preservation. Okay. Clayton is now claiming that I have done this to 4 men. Yes, I have been pregnant before and had 2 miscarriages and 2 abortions. Well, that's disputed based on various information you've given, but sure, we'll go with that for now. But I have restraining orders against 3 of these exes. I have never faked being pregnant, and it has never been proven otherwise. The pregnancies were confirmed by doctors to these men. No, actually, she would not let Clayton talk to the doctor. I remember that. Clayton was wanting to FaceTime. He didn't even have to go with her. Like, she didn't want him to go, so he said he would FaceTime so the doctor could talk to him. She did not want the doctor to confirm to Clayton that she was pregnant. So that is verifiably untrue. I believe that was discussed in one of the court hearings. So you can just look it up, and I don't think that fact was disputed. She was saying that she thought he would be dangerous or whatever. And yes, she did check the box stating that there was no domestic violence on the paperwork. Girl, if there's a restraining order against all your exes, you're the problem. Yeah. Okay. Scroll down. However, these men who have clear vendettas against me because of the impact of the restraining orders on their lives have all banded together in a smear campaign against me. So, you agree, though, that these restraining orders have impacted their lives. So, that's good, at least. At least we're acknowledging that. Because it's been 100% damaging to them compared to you. Like, you've suffered no consequences whatsoever. Except, I guess there is this injunction against harassment, and I'm not really sure how some of what she's doing right now doesn't violate it, but I'm also, not a lawyer, so someone else can weigh in on that. Clearly, the smear campaign has worked. The court appeared to be swayed by Clayton's minor celebrity status and punished me hard. Judge Mata took the extreme step of referring me to the county attorney. This sets a dangerous precedent. Although I had a miscarriage, it is similar to situations where women file paternity suits and are later found to be mistaken about who the father is. Yeah, no, it's not. It's not like that at all, actually. In fact, there would be no father since you are so tight from not having sex for a year. And I know that because I have unfortunately had to hear that way too many times. So thank you for that. Thank you so much. If you guys didn't watch the interview with Mike yesterday yet, the one that Megan did, he does talk about the restraining order was how that affected him in like background checks and stuff like that, and how people kind of talked about him. So like it's really awful that she was able to do this. So and I would encourage everyone to go hear what he has to say. So hey, Big Tiff. Okay. The court appeared to be swayed by Clinton's minor celebrity status and punished me hard. We already went through that. Okay. This sets a dangerous precedent. Blah blah. Blah. In Maricopa County, about 25% of paternity cases each year confirm that the alleged father is not the biological parent. Well, hopefully it's not because they're all pulling shit like this. Are all these women now frauds? Should they face sanctions and be referred to the county attorney just because they were wrong? Well, that depends. Did they perjure themselves? Did they doctor medical evidence? If so, maybe. I don't know. It depends on the circumstances. Your specific circumstances, her specific circumstances. Yeah, that makes you a fraud. Trying to like this is like a last ditch effort to like try to get like women on her side and be like this could happen to you too, or like look at what people are doing to women. I'm just like, no, this is not a men versus women thing. This is a you're being a huge asshole and ruining people's lives because they didn't want to date you thing. And I don't think anyone's really going to be on board with that. So the thing is, even if she were to slander people to the point that like she started to get some support from people like women who are worried about like the Me Too movement being impacted by this stuff like that, as soon as those people Google this or look into it at all, they're going to find out that you perjured yourself, that you committed fraud by falsifying medical evidence, and that you've done this several times. Not just the perjury or whatever, but I'm talking about like the whole shebang, like being through this with multiple guys. Okay. Should they face sanctions and be referred to the county attorney just because they were wrong? Again, if they did anything like she did, then yes. Okay. Clayton has utilized this situation to extend his 15 minutes of fame doing an interview this week with People and recently appearing on The Charlie Kirk Show, a controversial platform known for its polarizing views. After Clayton explained his version of why I took him to court in the first place, controversial Turning Point USA founder Charlie Kirk said, "There's an attack on men in this country, white men especially." So, hey, what's up, Omar? Yeah, I will email you. Okay, it's 3 p.m. Pacific. What is that in like an hour? Okay. So I've explained my thoughts on this before. My viewpoint is that like I don't base my opinions of people based on what like party they align with, or even if we have like different political views. This is not like this guy Charlie Kirk. Is he someone I would like support and hang out with? No, but I'm also not going to condemn Clayton for going on a larger platform to tell his story. I think that he has been through this like hellish ordeal, and like there were other platforms that could have, you know, given him a space to do that, and then they chose not to. And he went with what he could. And I don't love it. No, I don't love the show, but and I won't ever watch it again probably. But you know what? I don't believe that this man is like his entire my entire opinion of him should be based on that one thing. And also, Clayton seemed to be shutting down Charlie Kirk anytime he tried to steer him in an anti-women direction. So, um, but yeah, no, you'll probably never hear me. It's okay, Omar. Don't worry about it. You'll probably never hear me like really get into politics just because I decided a long time ago that I'm just like I don't want to like limit myself to like only specific relationships based on like what political party someone's in or whatever. Like that can kind of get me into a hole where number one, I'm having to like burn bridges with a bunch of people that I have like grown up with and have maintained good relationships with, but also because I think that it's important to talk to people from different perspectives just to like learn and like maybe even, my kind of opinions will grow and change. And like, I'm not saying like Charlie Kirk level views or anything like that, but I'm saying like people who have different opinions, or like if somebody goes to watch Clayton Echard on the Charlie Kirk show, I'm not going to like freak out and be like, I can't be your friend anymore. You know what I mean? So, my bad. What's going to happen with Gingras in the bar? Oh, yeah, you'll have to ask him that. Okay. The absolute hell I have been going through because of the Justice for Clayton group and their influence on the case, and apparently the judge's father, is unimaginable. That poor guy. Poor guy. Like he was just there, like he wanted to see what the buzz was all about. He's local, it's been made into kind of a big deal. And like now he's like if what he probably feels bad, because they're like slandering his daughter, saying that she, was doing something wrong because he was there. So I feel bad for that guy. He didn't do anything wrong. He was just a guy walking into a public space, talking to strangers sometimes, as is allowed, because some people are polite and like to talk to strangers. Am I one of them? No. Um, but I don't think he did anything wrong. Um, let's see. Oh, okay. Sorry. Sometimes I read ahead and I see what she's writing, and I'm just like, oh boy, oh boy. Okay. This is not just a group of supporters; it's a cult akin to Alex Jones followers and the January 6th insurrectionists. They hate me and have done everything possible to ruin my relationships with my family, friends, clients, and my businesses. What clients? Like I'm genuinely asking. I'm not trying to be a sarcastic asshole. I'm like, what clients? Like who has anything to do with your clients here? I don't even know what your businesses are except for like the one that you advertised and I saw it somewhere, but I don't know. Like how would anyone ruin your relationships with your family? I don't want to talk to your family. I don't even talk to her. So, unfortunately, the nature of the internet is like there are going to be a couple people who go a little too far or way too far, honestly, and will message people that she knows and all that. But I'm not one of those people, and I'm most people following this case are not those people. So it sucks to have someone kind of try to paint that picture because obviously I don't care what she does. I don't care what she had for lunch. I don't care what she puts on her sandwich, like whatever she was talking about. Was it a sandwich? What was it? Burritos? Yeah, sorry, I think it was burritos. Only Greg knew she ate a burrito every day. Okay, yeah, that was it. Also, I don't hate her. I think that she should, put this behind her, tell the truth, go get some help so it doesn't happen again, and come back from it a better person, and encourage other people to do the same. That's not hate. But as long as this person is putting out false information, slandering other people, um, feigning illnesses to the point that it is offensive and harmful to people who have actually gone through these things, and you're affecting the lives of some people who have been impacted by it, like when Mike's was a father-in-law or stepdad was dying, like, and Laura pretended to have cancer. Um, yeah, like, so if she keeps coming out and doing that, like, I don't have a problem saying, like, "Hey, this is a really shitty thing that you've done, and this is why I think it's so stupid." But I don't hate her. She's not important enough to hate. I got shit to do. I don't have time to hate you. I'm sure they've reached out to many of you, spreading their lies and trying to turn you against me. If it's worked, then please feel free to unfriend me. I want nothing to do with anyone who believes a word they say. Let me make sure I get to the bottom here. We are obviously appealing this decision, and my attorney is very confident it will be overturned. I've endured a miscarriage, harassment, false accusations, and a deeply flawed judicial process, but I'm done hiding. I have done nothing wrong. One good thing came out of this mess. Judge Mata upheld my order of protection against Clayton, despite his efforts to get it overturned. You can read more in my Medium article. We read that yesterday. You can find the video on my channel, but if you haven't seen it yet, most people in here probably have. But that Medium article, I believe, has been edited several times now, so I'm not sure what all the changes were. I know that people have looked into it because they sent me, some of that information. I just didn't have time to look at it. So, Mooncat, I mostly feel sorry for her. No hate here either, and I do wish she would stop and get help. I want her happy. Everyone deserves happiness. I agree with that. You know, it's very hard for me to think someone's irredeemable. Um, I would say that I don't believe she is forgivable to the people, like, necessarily forgivable. I mean, they can say, differently. If I were them, I would not be able to forgive her, but I don't think what she's done is necessarily forgivable to the people that she, like, really wanted to date her, and she, like, did all this to ruin their lives. But it doesn't mean that she can't go on and do good things. Like, she obviously tries hard to do good work with the horses and stuff like that. So, like, she could put her skills and her intelligence to good use. She actually does, she actually is intelligent. Unfortunately, it's been used to kind of plot, but like, she can do better. She just chooses not to. So, and Judge Mata might be wrong on her authority to set aside the OPP. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to ask you guys about that because I have questions. Obviously, I'm not a lawyer at all, so but I'm sure we'll talk soon. Also, this was deleted, as I said, like, before. But if you guys weren't in here in the beginning, she deleted this. It was, like, posted to her public podcast page, but apparently it has been deleted. Yeah. So there's a lot of thoughts that come to mind, like, when reading through this kind of stuff. Um, but you know, a lot of it's getting kind of, if I'm honest, a lot of it's getting a little played out. Um, I had a very different reaction, I feel like, to her um post yesterday because I was reading that and it was, like, so bizarre that I, like, had to laugh at it. And like I said again in the beginning of this, like, when some of you weren't here, like, if this was somebody that I believed had a truly, like, debilitating mental illness, I would never do this. I would not laugh at what they wrote. Because I regularly, like, see people who have these kinds of debilitating illnesses, and this is not what that looks like. That's just my opinion. The only reason I'm allowed, or not allowed, but the only reason I can feel comfortable saying that is because I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. I'm not a therapist. I'm a psych evaluator. But basically, when somebody's having their initial crisis, they come to see me. I'm that first kind of line of defense there. If you like, I don't know a better way to put that. And then so I work with the doctor to determine, like, is this person truly in a deep crisis? Can they not care for themselves? Are they dangerous? Or is there maybe a little bit of malingering going on, that kind of thing. So, like, I don't have to have a license because a licensed doctor signs off on all my decisions. So that's kind of the only reason I can point some of this stuff out, because if, like, a licensed psychologist or therapist or whatever put their neck on the line and went out and said all this stuff, and then she pulled a 180, even just for the purpose of, like, making that person look bad, then their license and their livelihood is on the line. So, I don't feel bad talking about this kind of stuff, but, I will not go so far as to, like, diagnose or anything like that. I think, that would be for me, I think that would be inappropriate. Like, I can speculate, but I try to keep that to myself. I might slip up every now and then be like, "Oh my god, that is so," but I try not to. Triage. Cam, yeah, kinda like that. We call it frontline triage in the UK. Okay, cool. Cool, cool, cool. Alright, everybody. I know Omar's gonna be on in a little bit. I'm gonna take a quick break here, and then hopefully I'll be able to connect with him so we can do that. And then we can have lots of those questions about, like, the order of protection and stuff like that answered, so that'll be pretty cool. Um, yeah. I will see you guys all again soon. Take care.